Hello, ladies, Gungans, and those beyond the binary. My name's Charlie Savage,
And my name is Ethan Odell.
and welcome to episode 19 of Outer Rim Radio, the podcast for Star Wars nerds, made by Star. Wait, is it made by Star Wars nerds for Star Wars nerds? I'm already bad at this, so that's going great.
Keep going, bro.
Today we're going to be discussing Star Wars visions. Joining us today is our residential weeb, Jake Burns. We watched all 9 episodes together. Odie, of course, also watched all 9 episodes with his fiance.
Absolutely.
But before we get into talking about visions, which is going to be, hotly debated, seemingly, we are going to talk about the news.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big news right now that everyone should know, and if you don't, what rock are you living underneath if you're a Star Wars fan? Knights of the Old Republic, one of the most famous games in Star Wars history, is getting its remake.
Hallelujah. Yay, now I won't play bad yet.
Yeah, that's a very divisive topic. Some people really cannot go back and play this game. And for me, I really don't have that issue, but I love those old style D20 games.
Yeah.
And I'm just
It makes more sense if you've ever played one before, but it's so jarring if you have never played like a PC D20 game.
Yeah, so this will be handled by Asper. They're handling this remake for PS5 and PC, which you didn't know, it's an exclusive. But they will do a great job with this. They're known for relaunching and remixing old Star Wars titles. There's a reason they were given this.
Yeah, and obviously
within good hands.
Yeah, and this is going to be, a bit, a lot more than Republic Commando. And a thing that they mentioned when people address concerns is like a lot of the people that they have working on this are people that worked on the original KOTOR. It's looking to be more of the same in terms of like overarching themes and design. I'm sure the gameplay is going to play a bit different. The game's going to look a lot better, right?
Yeah,
But
I hope so.
Right.
it already does. The teaser trailer.
True.
Yeah, it looks great.
You can tell.
But yeah, so they brought on people from the old KOTOR teams, people that have worked on like massive like Western RPGs before, and just that's pretty good. I trust the studio. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more than like the Republic Commando one that they just did, because they ported that to Switch and PS4.
Important to talk about because we have a lot of Switch transitions. With Knights of the Old Republic, we're getting pretty much a remake, not a remaster, a remake. They're going to do a lot of different stuff with this, really touch it up, make it a more modern RPG. But we're also getting just a regular remastering or just a re-release, really, for the Switch, which is going to come out November 11th of 2021, allegedly. We'll see, but with Nintendo, they're pretty good with deadlines. Just going to depend on our production. So
yeah, they wouldn't really announce that if it wasn't already. It's already so close. So
yeah, you're looking at 2 months out. There would have to be something pretty major for that to stop. But I mean, that's pretty exciting. If you haven't experienced this game before, you're going to have an opportunity either on PC or PS5. If not, hopefully you own a Switch. If you can't do either of those, if you have a laptop from 2005, it can run KOTOR. Just suffer through the graphics and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth it for the experience. At
$4
worst,
on
you could
Steam.
watch. Yeah. At worst, you could watch someone play it. Like, it's still got an active community. People still love the game. You could literally probably go somewhere on Twitch right now and find it. Not that you should if you're watching this, but
yeah, don't Charlie, shut up. What are you talking about?
Hey, after this, I'm streaming KOTOR now.
Right, that's not a bad idea. But other than that, for news, just for some small stuff. Hey, 3 days ago, as of this recording, it was Mark Hamill's birthday. He just turned 70, which is very exciting for him. He's still very strong in the Star Wars community and very strong on Twitter. So just wanted to shout that out because we all love Mark Hamill. But other than that, Star Wars Andor just happens, bro. Star Wars Andor just finished shooting as of yesterday, which is crazy.
Exciting.
That we're going into post.
It's like it's happening all so fast.
Yeah, it's crazy how
because it's like I thought we just saw the sets from it like a couple months ago, and now it's like
yeah, but this show got announced during COVID, and
Yeah.
every other show we've had
Yeah.
was stuck in that COVID death loop of production.
Right.
This is the only one that's really been able to be somewhat unscathed in
Yeah.
the
We
production
got
cycle.
Andor coming up. We've got, you know, Book of Boba Fett coming up. Lots of good stuff. Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, lots of good Star Wars content.
A
I'm
movie
just hopeful.
next
A
year,
movie. Yeah, it's true.
which I completely almost forgot about. But yeah, lots of good stuff on the way. But I think now is time that we talk about what we're all here to talk about. Yeah, talk about some Star Wars
Yeah.
visions
Prepare yourself
for
an
anime.
absolute shitstorm, because I think
Yes.
almost none of us agree on this one. I know for a fact that Star Wars Visions was divisive to most. It
That's
was
crazy.
fun to watch,
Yeah,
a little bit angry at times, but you know, there's no better way to know than to just get right into it right now. So, gentlemen, we're left with the first one, The Duel, featuring Ronan, who is going to be a extended universe character. We're going to see more. They've already announced Ronan, a Visions novel, expanding off of our first episode.
yep. And it
What
comes
do you-
out in
what did
2
you-
weeks.
Comes out in 2 weeks, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
What did you guys feel about this episode? You know, what do you feel, Jake? How did you
Well,
really feel about it?
It's kind of crazy. Like going into it, I was like, okay, this is the JoJo episode, right? And so I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about the like the CG, because this one's like fully CGI, right? So I was like, all right, I kind of lean more towards the 2D animation type episodes, but let's just see how this one goes. But by the end of it, honestly, I was really amazed by like the kind of stuff that they were doing. Like, you see the Sith come out of the ship with the umbrella, and just like that's like a wild concept that like you've not seen in Star Wars before. And so like honestly that just blew me away. And the animation's like really solid too. So
Yeah, I'm with Jake. I really love this one. I think this is the perfect episode of, in terms of, oh my god, this is cool, but thank god this isn't canon sort of deal, because it makes you ask so many questions. It's Star Wars in so many ways, and so not Star Wars in so many other ways, right?
Yeah,
Where
and I think you're touching on a really good point there, that this episode stretched what it meant to be Star Wars, and a
Yeah.
couple others did that. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. But I think you raise a good point there that I hadn't really considered, that really this episode went for broke on what they could push to keep it in that Japanese style, best
yeah,
still being
it's
able to see
legit.
Star Wars.
It's a mini Kurosawa film with lightsabers,
Yeah.
and it's got its own little great Star Wars homages. It's got, it has the mixing of the music from Duel of Fates while there's an epic battle on moving platforms. It's got the little reference to, I don't know if you guys saw, but it has the poster for the original Star Wars in the background on a theater in the building.
oh cool.
We've gotten our 2 unit. He has whistling birds that we saw in like Mandalorian, like, and we saw all these different alien races. We saw a Celestian, like a Doug. We saw a
Great
Tusken
notion.
Raider. Yeah, and
I'll let you finish out your point. I want you guys to talk about all the good reasons you enjoyed this before I just play absolute
Oh,
devil's
no.
advocate.
but yeah, I don't know. It was very different. I liked it, and it was just kind of, I don't know. It was pretty to look at, man. It's
We gotta talk about the villain with that like Afro samurai vibes, dude.
yeah, I did love
afro.
that actually.
That was sick. That was so cool.
I
I
also
love her
loved the
design.
ending. Also, we're just gonna spoil these because they're shorts. So if you haven't seen them, but
Yeah, and I think what's important with the spoiling is that these are experiences. So I recommend that you all watch these if you haven't already, because they're really pushing the boundaries of what it means to be Star Wars. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this style of content. But anyways, get back to what you're saying, Charles.
oh yeah, well, shoot, what was this?
You guys were just talking about the art style.
Oh yeah, Uh, oh yeah, I love the ending. That's what I was gonna bring up. I love the little deception. I love that the fact that he had a red lightsaber alone.
Yeah,
That
yeah, that's a good reveal.
immediately when Jake and I were both watching this, we were like, "Oh, this is interesting."
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's such a good reveal. I think that like if like they didn't hint towards that throughout the entire episode, and then like you just see that and you're like, oh, okay, you're assuming that he's gonna be a Jedi, right? And then because like everything's pointing towards it, and then he reveals the red lightsaber. It's like, oh, this is interesting. This is not
yeah,
what I expected at all.
and then I also love the way he got the kill in the end. It was
Yeah,
sweet and simple, but I was glad that he actually used his second lightsaber base. What's the thing that's not a katana but normally they have? I don't know. I played Ghost of Tsushima. I should know this. Where you have your
is it
katana and then you have the shorter blade that's like a knife
is it
almost,
like
but it's a
the
little longer.
kunai,
No,
the kunai, or the kodachi?
I think it's Kodachi.
It's probably a kodachi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that he was able to use that and substitute that in, trick her, get the kill. And then he gave the crystal to the kid. He gave the,
Oh yeah, that was good. I like
and
that.
then he gave uh, the really weird umbrella thing
Yeah.
to the man whose shop got
Just the attachment.
absolutely flipping obliterated.
Yeah.
All right, gents. Last but not least, are you ready? Is that your points for the duel? Because
I think so.
I'm about to unleash. All right,
All right.
so let me say this. I actually do agree
A
with several
Tonto,
things
that's
you're
what it
saying.
was. It was a Tonto.
I think they're really pushing what it meant. The duel pushed what it meant to be a Star Wars story. I think there are some cool notes there, and in terms of the action, it was fun. Um, but just looking at it from the point of these are short films, these are short stories. There wasn't really a lot going on, and the story itself, the plot was to serve getting to a really cool action scene.
Yes,
And
entirely.
for me, that kind of fluff just felt like a waste of my time because I was like, well, if I want to watch really cool fight scenes, I can either watch more of these episodes and see cooler ones, or I can go watch anime where I'm going to have actual anime where it's going to have a better plot on top of this. But for me, it really didn't hold up towards the other ones in terms of the plot and the story. But I do think it really did some things right. I think it pushed what meant to be Star Wars, and I think questioning what it meant to be a Sith and really giving that depth was a very interesting take that none of the other stories took. A lot of the focus was placed on becoming a Jedi, where in this one it was
Mhm.
just, hey, is he a Sith? Is he not? Is he just a Force adept? Is he just a crystal collector? We don't know. But it puts a lot of stuff out there. And just from the style of their animation and their dialogue and stuff like that, it came off a little stilted to me. All that means is it does feel like you're set in another story. It's hard to suspend disbelief and be like, okay, this is happening, which can be difficult in a fantasy.
For
But
sure.
that's just kind of
Yeah.
how it looks in that because it was just that much more over the top. And I did like some of the design because I think honestly Ronan looked cool. Some people, including my fiance, were not as happy about his hair just freestanding, but that's anime. But some
Oh
of it
yeah.
was kind of like on the border for me. Like I really liked her afro and stuff like that, but I also
Mhm.
feel like she had a much cooler design when she was this hooded, mysterious woman Sith. Other than the high heels, didn't really do it for me. Was
There's
this
high
the
heels in like
one?
all of these, which is
Yeah, there were
so
several where it's like I'm gonna shoot a
everything's
laser
about
beam
hair
out
and
of my
high
high heel.
heels.
Yeah.
It was just
I
very
Cutting hair,
anime
high
in that.
heels.
I think really fleshed out, this will make a good anime, but I just don't think they hit the beats of what makes a good short story for me. I think it was just too much fluff. I enjoyed the action, but it just really didn't hit notes that I feel the other stories hit.
That's fair.
if I,
Um,
if I can kind of counter a little bit,
go for it.
I think that it sets a pretty decent tone actually for the overall show because it kind of sets your expectations within the limitations of like, hey, this is going to be like really cool fights, and maybe since they're like shorter, we might not get as much like story. and so it kind of sets your expectations a little bit, and it shows you like how wild they're willing to go.
Well,
So
and that's kind of my point is like, if this was made into a 45 to 30-minute show, I think I would enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah.
Where I just felt like there were times in the action scenes when I was just trying to figure out what was going on. Also, the voice. This is part of the problem. The the English voice acting was really hard to understand at some time, just with the sound mixing. That it just kind of got me lost in some points. But I mean, that's just my opinion. So I'm just trying to put it out there.
Random thing of why that didn't really affect me. I let Matt use my Disney Plus because he's up in Alaska, and because of him, subtitles are just always turned on the account. So when I was watching it, I had subtitles for literally everything, and I totally didn't even think about that. But that is a totally valid criticism because I've rewatched it. I watched it like 3 or 4 times now.
Well, it's anime, so you have to have subtitles on.
Put it in Japanese.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna rewatch it and do that. But I think we've really hit our notes here. I mean, we've got our opinions on, and obviously we disagree on some things, but I think that's what we need to really.
Hey, should we score and rank these, or should we save that for the end?
I mean, I will literally tell you mine, and this is a 2 out of 10 for me.
That's very low.
That's very low. I think it's actually kind of middle of the pack. If I'm grading like these from like 1 to 9, I'd say probably like a 5, something like that. But yeah, I'd say it's very like middle of the road. I liked a lot more. I liked some of them a lot more, and I liked some of them a lot less. So,
alrighty. Number 2.
Speaking of liking less.
So I actually disagree on this one. The next one is Tatooine Rhapsody. This was made by Studio Colorido. Funny enough, Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Jay, the Padawan, the main character. Bobby Moynihan plays Geezer, the Hutt character, which I just find a fun little aside for the English.
Quality duo.
Yeah, it's just an interesting duo. I would say, just right out of the bat, this hit a note for me that I think is going to be divisive. And let me say that. I don't think this is a show that's meant for everybody.
Yes.
It felt like I was watching this and I was like, this is Teen Titans meets anime meets Star Wars. It had that feeling, that mid-2000s edge punk, and it was just really hitting a tone that I know fucking people hated. But for me, yeah, I'm totally with Sober Hippie. I fucking dug this episode. This really hit for me. I mean, I found that they were doing a lot of things in a fun way. You're playing on the Hutts, really showing like things don't have to be the same in Star Wars. And it's like, why are the Hutts always the bad guys? Like, just allow it to be.
There's many much Hutt.
But I will say there's some things that I found really funny. Like the fact that, you know, it does have a story and it's fun and I really enjoyed that. And you may not agree, but for me, like, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But it's always funny when literally it's the power of music, you know, punk prevents an execution. So 2000s. The weird thing was, like, if you go back and see it, and some people notice this in the first part, like, the characters have really small heads based off animation, but it looks hilarious for Boba Fett.
Yeah,
he has the
baby boy Boba.
And I was like, how old is he in this?
And he's just like, I'm here to take you in.
Also,
you're coming with me.
I don't even. I'm just gonna read you this straight from my notes when I watched this yesterday. Why is the robot thick? Questions even God can't answer. So the robot bandmate was like animated very sexually, and I don't really know what to do with that.
The answer is, of course, anime.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That robot was kind of thick.
Yeah, no, it was like Teen Titans beat anime for me, which for me, love it. Voice acting, not that great.
Yeah.
Not gonna front on that one, but
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. For me, I think this is one of the weaker episodes. Not because it's one of those things where I recognize its quality, I enjoy it, but it's like I'm I'm gonna go back and watch most of these. This will definitely be the one I skip, despite how much I like it. I love the general concept. I love the animation. I love like most things about it. But it's also like it's one of those things where I watched it and I was like, that would have been my favorite thing when I was like 7 or 8.
I think in
Like,
terms of rewatchability, that's a good thing to talk about too. I like this a lot. I would watch this if there was more, just as like a very passive Saturday cartoon feeling. But
exactly,
it wasn't.
yes.
It's not rewatchable for me.
Yeah, and also yeah, that
yeah,
I
it was
think you hit the
definitely-
nail right on the head.
It
on
was
that.
definitely cute.
I
Yeah,
think
it was
has
cute.
Some of the
I want to know more about these characters. They're great. Anyways, go ahead, Jake. Sorry I cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. So I just think that this one, I have trouble envisioning this one like moving on and becoming a series, and like so that's kind of like it leaves me with a lot less to attach to, I guess. And like the way that it plays out to me is almost like, okay, this is done, like we're good now. Like
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't know.
short story,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I and that for some of these works for me, and some of these it doesn't. I did like that this was one of the ones that actually did fit in a short story format. It began and it ended, and you're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah. I like that. I love that the lead.
The music better. If I liked the music better, I think I maybe would like.
That is very true. That was really my gripe. And
It did feel like a teenage garage punk band at times.
Yeah.
So totally get that.
Yeah, I loved one of my favorite parts was like when they were performing, but it goes all over Tatooine, and it's like the Biffs are there, and they're rocking out to it. I love when like Jabba wags his tail. They go over to Obi-Wan's hut, like all sorts of like cool little things, and they're like, it's everything at the Boonta Eve. It's like it just hits this
a lot
like
of fun nods.
good level of like Tatooine nostalgia in general.
Def majorly discount Fall Out Boy vibes. That's hilarious.
I don't know. I think they were more red suit.
That's hilarious. So what are our rankings, guys? What did you feel? Give us your out of 10 on this one.
Okay, so for my last out of 10, I would say like in terms of like normal IGN scale, last one I thought was an 8. This one 6.5, 7. I'm somewhere in between there. It
reminded me of a long Gorillaz music video.
That's a great one.
That's great.
Somebody get me out of this cage. No.
Dude, give the Gorillas an episode.
All right, so you're saying a 6.5. Dude, it hit a level of edge that I hadn't felt since I was a kid. 8 out of 10.
Great.
I guess if I'm not giving the same score twice in interest of keeping them in order, I'll say 4. It was slightly below the last one.
Wait, what is your scoring?
1 through 9.
Okay. Are you just ranking them?
Like ranking. Yeah, I'm just ranking.
Okay. I have my rankings written down.
Oh, I'm just doing out of 10s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, if we're doing that, I'd give it probably 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
that's dislike any except for maybe one. Except for maybe one, I didn't actually dislike.
Well, speaking of ones we likely dislike, let's talk about the twins, my guys. I'm just gonna go out there and say this first of all. This was in my notes, anime written by an AI ?
Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah.
So this was made by Trigger. Is it Studio Trigger? Yeah, Studio Trigger.
I believe they just go by Trigger, actually.
But yeah, I know. But they were presented in Visions as Studio Trigger. But I know they go by Trigger. But that's what I have in my notes.
It's weird.
But I will say here, it's very funny. Not even talking about this, but your two main characters, the twins, were voiced by Neil Patrick Harris and Allison Brie for some damn reason.
Amazing.
And I didn't realize that until literally when we started prepping for this episode. So
I thought that was funny. Well, we were watching these, and I was like, I went to IMDb, and I was like, oh, that's Allison Brie. I was like, okay. I was just like caught me off guard.
Yeah, we didn't know. We were watching it, and we did not know who the voice actors were. Then the credits roll, and it just says Neil Patrick Harris. I'm like, what?
It was nutty.
That was just honestly that reveal at the end. Boosted my level of enjoyment.
The reveal was better than the whole episode for me. So Charlie, how did you feel about this one?
it's towards the bottom of my list. But I also realized that this is entirely like this was just made because someone wanted some crazy shit. Like they had some crazy drawings, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just fucking throw it together." Like that's entirely how it felt. And they're like, "All right, we're gonna freeze stuns because nobody ever freezes stuns, and that looks cool. We're just gonna tie two fucking ships together because it looks cool. We're just gonna make a giant lightsaber because it fucking looks cool. We're gonna have, hey, kyber crystals, fucking just throw it in the mecha suit. What's gonna happen?"
Everything was about kyber crystals in this fucking. Okay, anyway, every Visions was about kyber crystals in some fucking way.
Pretty much. And well, yeah, it's because like in literally you played all the goddamn Final Fantasies and fucking Dragon Quest games, there's goddamn crystals everywhere.
True.
Oh no, I get that. I'm just saying.
There's an obsession in Japan with crystals. It's like they're sorority girls.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Anyways,
Yeah.
there's my bad joke for the day.
But,
I mean, I think that was very cool, like in some regards.
it's cool.
Yeah.
But let me say this. Why I said it was written by an AI is because it just fucking took the craziest turns ever. Did the most anime shit ever.
Yeah, it is the most
when he
anime, and I was like,
they are
anime.
in space.
Cringe.
The vacuum of space. Unaffected by anything. And at first, we're
Yes.
left with the, oh, she can do that because she's in that dark suit. Okay, that makes sense. She's in this mecha. She's got the kyber crystal. She's ready to go. She's gonna pull the fucking crystal out of his ship. That's pretty cool. Wait, why the fuck is he in the vacuum of space? He's fine. He can talk. Sound travels. What the fuck is going on? Oh, wait. You know how in the first episode we had an umbrella lightsaber? Okay, but now we have a big noodle whip lightsaber.
And
she's
6
gonna
of them.
have 8 of them. She's literally fucking
yeah,
lightsaber Doc Ock from fucking Spider-Man. What the fuck? It made no sense. It was like, I really loved the color palette. I really thought it was great animation, but
Cool
it's
character
really trying to build on that cloning style world building. They did a lot of like leaning into Star Wars tropes that I really thought was cool. Other than they leaned a little too hard into the Gemini.
Blonde kid in an
thing.
X-wing with an R2 unit, or duo.
Seriously, it was just at some point leaning in that hard kind of starts to detract from your story and what you're trying to show there. I mean, it was the most anime shit I've ever seen. It was like Gundam 80s style anime meets Star Wars. But I mean, what the fuck was that? I kept watching that and I went, huh? What?
Okay.
Noodle lightsabers?
So I agree.
She shot her lightsaber bolt out of her fucking heel of her fucking
Yes.
high heels.
Yes,
It was
I agree with
crazy.
every point. I agree with every point that you have. Still 10 out of 10.
Okay. All right. So
It's not.
just
That's not
remind
how it says,
yourselves,
Jake.
this is resonant weeb. So I can understand that, but like, I was like, are they God? Who are
Yeah. Yes.
these people?
So knowing
Who are you
Trigger.
people?
So knowing Trigger, this is how the last episode of every one of their shows goes, okay? Oh, I was expecting
So-
this.
The shoe saber.
Yeah. If you've ever seen Gurren Lagann, that's this. They throw actual galaxies at each other.
Well, I guess I should just discount physics because we're talking about anime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Basically.
I just thought it was really funny.
It's
style
so over the
substance
top.
in every way.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wasn't expecting her to become fucking General Grievous with noodle lightsabers. I just
Yeah.
didn't.
She was in the pool. Wow.
Yeah, you just gotta disregard this as non-canon for sure.
No, that's not what bothers me. It's the fact that I just kept going. What?
Every like basic understanding of vague rules in Star Wars that they already break science, they were just throwing out the window of the vague rules we already had.
Yep.
And they were just like-
Princess Leia did a similar thing. I mean, I think.
We're not gonna talk about that. That's not canon. My canon.
That's not canon.
Oh,
either. Okay,
Lord.
alright, cool.
But I think really for me, the thing that was the nail in the coffin was how self-referential this one was. Like it was beyond the subtle nods of the other one. I mean, they literally said he's going to go to a galaxy far, far away.
I did love that
Right.
actually.
To give
Charlie did.
credit to them, it's a line in Star Wars. To detract credit from them, there's not intergalaxy travel in Star Wars. That's a long fucking place to go. He would be the first person in Star Wars to travel to another galaxy.
I like when they say the thing in the show. It's like that episode of Family Guy where they made that exact same joke.
Yeah,
it's when they say the name in the movie and you go, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're the Teen Titans. He said it. Wow, the Justice League calls themselves a Justice League.
Just a fucking Wojak meme.
Yeah.
Such a fucking Wojak meme. Done with it.
Anyways.
Anything else to say about this one, guys?
I
know
cool
you
colors.
Think it's cool, Jake. The color palette was amazing.
I wish they had an actual mech. That's the only thing that would have made.
You know what? I do want to see a mech.
Like
yeah, if it became.
You've seen Spaceballs, right? We know how the lady turns in the vacuum cleaner and they turn it to suck. Yeah. I want that, but anime.
Yeah, like I said, it felt like it was gonna turn into Gundam. I was like,
yeah,
what's happening?
What if the ship folded? And then it had like a gun? It would like turn into Mega Man? Come on. Could have worked.
Yeah, it could have. It could have. Like I said, TIE
still talking about twins.
Swing mech would have been perfect. It would have just been perfect. They should have done it. They could have styled it after like the actual like main Gundam, you know?
Okay, you can go write your fan fiction after the episode. Let's move on and talk about The Village Bride. Again, this was another really contentious one for people. So let's just start off talking about your feelings on this. This one was created by Cinema Citrus. Jake, how did you feel about The Village Bride?
So I think that it does like a pretty decent job of setting up an atmosphere, but I also didn't really resonate with this one as much. Like it felt, I didn't really like where they were like what they were building to, I guess. It just didn't, it seemed a little bit forced at the end with the, you know, the villain just kind of showing up and then they do the small little fight that they had, but definitely a little bit less. Just as I liked it a little bit less than other episodes, I guess.
Charlotte?
Yeah, I watched this one 3 times and I can't get into it at all. Like I tried, I did my best. I think that was cool for like the first little bit where they're explaining things about love. They have this cool thing, the world shifts based on their connection with the Force. I like that they call their version of the Force a different thing. But there was like, once we got into like the politics of these people, I was like, I don't really care about these people. And I was like, the Jedi's probably going to save them. And then the Jedi saved them with the cool dude, the cool hat that threw it, and it was a bomb. And they threw it in the YT freighter. And I was like, neat. Move on now.
Well, I will say I cannot agree on this one, guys. I think in a lot of ways, this episode reminded me of a lot of the notes you get in Avatar. It was a lot about culture and the differences in there. And I love the animation. It looked gorgeous compared to some of the other ones to me. But I loved that out of all of these, this one leaned the heaviest into the fantasy aspects of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not the science fiction, the fantasy of this. And my fiance and I, the lovely Megan in the chat, I adore this one. I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, and you don't have to agree with this. I'm ready for my 20-year-long anime of this. I'm sad it ended. I want 19 seasons. I want a manga, and I want a terrible live-action remake. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be disappointed in my 40s when they tried to remake this. I mean, I'm telling you, for me, I like this because it was just relatable in terms of the characters were grounded. They weren't fucking crazy out of that. And for me, it's just like a style. What style of show do you like? And I've watched anime before, and I'm not calling Avatar anime. Just a comparison I made in the past, but
it's fine. In Japan, they call King of the Hill anime, so you can really do what you want.
But I'm just saying, in general terms, I feel like this hit a note for me that just made me want to dig into the world. And where you're saying like, hey, this stuff was cool, to me that was integral as to what this could have been. Now, the thing with all of these is they're not for everyone, right?
Yeah.
You mean you didn't like, I mean, you guys really liked Ronin. You really liked the duel. Bro, I will never watch that again.
Wow.
I won't.
I even watched that.
If
At
you never
Lucky's.
watch this one again, that's okay. I'm just waiting for my 19 seasons. So
If they
once that comes out, we'll never talk again because I'll be in my room watching this and telling everyone how great the show is.
Well, hey, I would be down to watch a series that continued off of this. I think that it's hard to get into the world building that they're setting up when you're watching a how long was this one?
17 minutes, something.
Yeah,
17 minute
minutes.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it was also like,
I mean, you're just
also it looked vaguely like Pokemon, but it looked like way cleaner. But like,
yeah,
the Explorer
looks
looks
like
like
the newer
Professor Oak in the
seasons of
face, and I
Pokemon.
can't get over it.
I mean,
the newer
I kind of
seasons of
looked.
Pokemon do look like that.
I kind of looked up their animation style, and it's all like basically Pokemon.
Yeah.
Not that that's bad. It looks really good, but it was just like, I was like, that is Professor Oak, and the other guy came out, and I was like, I think that guy's in Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah. Well, so actually, I don't know like if you're like actually interested, but they do a series that's called Made in Abyss, and it's really really good, and the world building is very similar. And so not like similar as in same plot point type stuff, but like
The way they
it's
approach it.
very well detailed in the way that they approach it. And so I was excited actually to watch this episode because I really love that show. Also the score is done by Kevin Penkin, which does the score to Made in Abyss as well, which I really liked the music.
The score was really good.
I love the music in
So
this one.
I actually that definitely boosted the score that I will give this one.
Oh yeah.
but-
Let's just go ahead and do scores because I will
yeah.
once again tell you how much I love this.
Oh wait,
one.
did we score twins?
Yeah, I think we did.
I mean, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, I think I probably said 6.
I don't think you did. I don't think you did, Charlie.
For twins, that was my solid 2 out of 10. So yeah, you guys know this for me. This is my 10. I loved this so much. So this is my 10.
Wait, do we only get 110?
No, I mean,
No, do whatever you
this
want.
was of all the ones I watched. This was the one I
Okay.
went. I literally was sad when it ended.
Yeah. Okay.
Charlie,
I'm
what's your ranking on this one?
5 out of
5?
10.
You know what? That's acceptable.
It's
I'll
not
live
bad.
with 5.
There's nothing inherently wrong with it. I just didn't get it. I feel like I think Jake had a good point. I feel like I just didn't get to spend enough time with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Also, the mask made her look like Katana from Mortal Kombat, but that's another thing. I kept just thinking about these
True.
other things while watching this
True.
the first time.
We actually did make a lot of references during this episode.
Well, maybe that's your problem. I didn't. So that's your problem. You did it to
Yeah.
yourself.
Sorry, I
Let's
fucking played
move on.
MK11. Anyways.
To the 9th.
Oh, hold on. I didn't
Jedi.
get the score.
No.
I didn't-
Yes,
I
you
didn't get the
did.
score.
No, I don't care. No, what's your score?
I was gonna okay, so I was gonna give it a 7. So higher than him, lower than you, like right in the middle. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll accept a 7. I mean, you're both wrong, but that's okay. The Ninth Jedi, guys. Production IG. This was
Woo.
all about lightsabers and Jedi. Oh wait, that was every one of them. How
And it
would
did
you
it
guys
the
feel about
best.
this?
I love this one.
I
Yeah.
love this one.
Oh, we're agreeing. We're agreeing. This is great.
Th-
Yeah.
This
I
one
get to
actually
chill and
might
not
be
be
my
pissed
favorite.
off.
Episode.
Yeah, this was
This actually might be my favorite episode.
No,
so-
this is my favorite. I'll tell you right now before we do our rankings. This is easily my favorite episode. It was literally like one of the first frames where you see like the weird little ship and space, and I was watching it with Jake. I'm like, they get it. They get Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
And then everything they went through everything, and I was like, this is great. This is great. This is great. Ethan's voice sounds weird. This is great. This is great.
Yeah.
What are you saying about me? Yeah,
Yeah, you-
I totally agree. I think what you're really getting at is in the intro, they were really good at using the setting to their advantage. They were
Yes.
using the setting in the world to really highlight their animation and it really helped show the chops of the studio within the first minute, which is super important when you're looking at a short film. So, I will say for this one, I totally agree. This is the one, like, other than The Village Bride, where I'm like, please don't end. This is the one where I'm like, dude, I'd watch a show of this easily.
I know. I was like, we were talking about this. I'm like, more than any other episode, I feel like this one feels like a certified pilot for a Star Wars
exactly
show that's 1,000 years after like Empire. Like,
yeah, I mean, in my notes, I literally wrote, felt like episode 1, season 1. It was a really good intro. It introduced characters, and although some were a little not fleshed out, like Ethan, the one you guys were talking about, I felt like our main character was just super cool. But like, it just felt the most Star Wars-y.
yes, that is
the technical term, if you will. It felt like the most like a Star Wars story, and I felt like I was really there when I was learning. I will say the only thing that had me a little like, what? Was when she was riding backwards on the speeder.
I loved that. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this kid's crazy.
Yeah, which, I mean, in that way, you can always do the Star Wars. Well, she's a Force adept. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yep.
So it was just
exactly what I thought in my brain.
It took me out of it for a second, but
I was like, well,
immediately following that scene, they're on that ice flat. She jumps off, and not to shit on the sequels, but the slicing the ship in half thing, way better done than her with her slicing that speeder clean. Also, way cooler than it was executed in the sequels with the TIE Fighter. It just, I really love that.
I want to show you guys. I don't know if you can see it very well. God. But I have it as my background from this Twitter post.
The Akira homage.
It looks like.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my background for the month. Hey, and I've never made anime my background for my phone ever, so.
Actually, I don't think I ever have either, unless you count like Persona. But
don't lie to me, weeb.
No, I'm being legit. I'm being legit. All right.
But yeah, I mean, there's not any great Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood backgrounds. So.
Right, this is true. Again, season 2 for Visions. Give Bones an episode. Just saying.
So, but with this one, I would say, you know, we've said it multiple times. This felt like a pilot, but
even the narration,
I really enjoyed. Yeah, everything about this was done well. It felt like Star Wars down to the narration. It really left us off at a point where, like, what's next? And it even better developed. Someone says Persona counts, so your point's valid.
Sure.
It really developed a world building aspect that I found very interesting in Star Wars, which is not necessarily true. But I like it a lot better than what they have, is that the crystal develops based on the person holding it.
Yeah, and which that was in the original script for episode 6.
Yeah. And it created a really cool moment when they all
had the red lightsabers.
Had the red lightsabers at the end when the guy was conflicted and being corrupted.
Yeah,
and it was purple, and then
and it changed while she got her color, and her influence on the Force changed his because his was determinate on the other guys with red lightsabers. And I was like, this is great.
I think that like that guy alone makes me so interested in them continuing this as a series, because like I don't know that like character. Well, what do we know, like what race that is, or what like
Hawkman?
Yeah, he's like
what hawk bird. People are there.
Yeah,
like,
and
that's not anything we've seen before, right?
Not necessarily that I can.
I don't think so.
The big thing there is, I think this showed a level of growth that we don't have in Star Wars, because the Jedi live in a binary, the Sith live in a binary. You're them or you're this.
Exactly.
And they've really expunged the idea of grays in SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Man, I can't wait for Nicktoon Fighters. Top of the morning.
But I really liked that they touched on that, because they've expunged the idea of grays from Star Wars canon, really.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of feeling of it's something you fight with really made me feel like the Force mattered here a lot more than
Them
past
actually
shows and
fighting.
movies. It felt like something that was really
It could change.
just it was a force within the universe. It ebbed and flowed like time and
Yeah.
space. It was
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
love how oh shoot. The Margrave hid himself inside of a mech.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
So
that
they
was
would
so
reveal
sick.
themselves.
Yeah, I finally got my mech.
It was
And
great.
then when his fighting style when he came out and he had that little cross hilt on his green blade and he just
Yeah.
I mean, they were not afraid to slice people in half and
No.
it was
Yeah.
awesome. It was so
Yeah,
sick.
that like was so cool. Like I wasn't expecting that. I thought that it was gonna be a little bit more, toned down,
Subdued.
but no,
Yeah.
they just straight up cut people.
He
in
just
half.
blasts out and just
He
chops a guy in
literally,
half,
yeah,
and you're like,
his body did the anime slide thing. Where
yeah.
And this is the Attack on Titan studio, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I loved it. I loved
I was
it.
like, I straight up just, I want more. I loved literally like every part about this. I love that like they even like it, and it's like I like that it seems that lightsabers aren't purposely lost or like purposely lost. Like
Mhm.
they're very much just seem like it's an illegal thing, and
Yeah.
they come after they come after Kara's dad. Like, I love that that's a thing. Someone just sees like, I know how to make lightsabers. Like, it's my thing.
Yeah.
And
I liked how they didn't really place it in a time period necessarily.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's banned.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Jedi hunters will come after you. I mean, even in Star Wars canon, there's multiple times in which the Sith had control of the galaxy, whether that was the Sith Empire or that was the Empire or the First Order. Yeah. So I just find that very interesting.
Yeah, and
the canon is that they're all like way far future, like thousands of years after. That's just what I'm gonna choose to believe.
Same here.
Hopefully we get an answer on this one, and we can one day get episode 2 of whatever this is. Guys, what's your rating out of 10 here?
10.
Yeah, I'll throw it a 10. I like this one a lot.
I gotta say a 9. I had a little bit of flaws with it, but like healthy. Totally healthy flaws. Like if you told me they were making a show of this, I'd be super hype.
Yeah.
I mean, not to throw shade at the Bad Batch, but this was infinitely better than any episode of the Bad Batch.
I like the first episode the most of the Bad Batch. That's why I'm like.
And I don't necessarily consider that's more of like a mini movie. It's a really long episode.
Well, yeah, it is, and that's why I'm like, that was a good one.
But I think this hit was nearly perfect.
Yeah.
So let's
it
move
hit
on,
every
guys.
note I wanted. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it really hit this is Star Wars the anime. And
also one more thing. I love that Kara and her dad also like believe in the Force, and it's not just like they don't just make lightsabers, but it's like it's is literally their religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it moves it past just being Jedi versus Sith. It moves it back to this is being a part of the universe. And again, like I said, this did world building better than Star Wars does world building. So
yeah,
great for me. Yeah. Great for me. So let's move on. Let's talk about it's TO, right? Not
TOB1.
TOB1, yeah.
Or Toby.
This is Toby. And this was created by Science Saru.
Yeah.
Right out of the bat, I'm just gonna say this is Astro Boy meets Star Wars. It was the Astro Boy Jedi fanfic. Some people really dug this episode. I'm not that person. So let's just have you guys talk about what you liked, disliked about this one before I give my 2 cents on this one.
Jake, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can. The fight at the end was probably one of the most like kinetic fights in all of Visions. I think that the movement and like the way that they connected and like he gets his arm broken, right? So, and I just think that like everything that determines how these two characters are interacting plays itself towards the benefit of this episode. I think that like even the beginning part of the episode where they're like kind of building up the character, showing you, oh, he wants to be a Jedi. Oh, can a robot actually be a Jedi? I don't know. We're asking these questions, right? And then it shows this like droid looking guy. I think he's a droid. And I know Charlie, you were kind of when we were watching this, you were like, we don't know, but I choose to believe he's also a droid. He's also like a robot, and
Yeah.
so I think that it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, there's a robot Sith versus a robot Jedi, and that fight is really really good, and
Or
it
it's
actually lends itself like emotionally because you see his dad get killed like seconds before that. So
yeah, yeah, because he basically fought an Inquisitor, and it went from the ship from I forget what the first one's from. Second one is from Rebels that he shows up in, so it's seemingly in that time period. But what I really just like loved about this, it hit like all these nice wholesome beats. A lot like you said, it's like Astro Boy, and for me the first thing because I've never seen Astro Boy, but I've seen Mega Man, and Mega Man's entirely based off Astro Boy. So I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, that's Dr. Light. This is Mega Man basically. I'm like, this is adorable, and it's like halfway between it's like Mega Man, it's like Pinocchio, and like he just wants to be. He's just a little boy who wants to be a Jedi, but he's not even a real boy. And I was like, this is cute. I'm enjoying it. I just kind of like, it was just very comforting. I just enjoyed it in that sense that it was like, this is cute. It's neat. Definitely like not my favorite one, but I did thoroughly enjoy that it was there.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna say on a few points, I totally agree with you, and I do think like calling him Toby at the end was a really subtle nod to like this is a story, and it is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
The story is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's just really what happens there. It was kind of funny because like when the Inquisitor guy, I don't remember his name, just fucking yeets him so hard, he literally entered what was like the Avatar state.
Yeah,
He's like, oh,
literally.
cool. Hold on, I gotta talk to my dad real quick.
yeah.
But for me, this just
we said
I
that right
was
when we were watching it too.
it just left me asking, not like didn't leave me. I was asking too many questions during, and the dialogue was a little too stilted, and it was just off for me. So personally, I just wasn't able to enjoy it. Um, and I know there's the majority of you really like this episode, and I can't really give as much detail into why. It just really, with the dialogue and the feeling, I just wasn't able to get into it. And you know what? I think I'm just not the Science Sorrow guy. I think it's not for me. So
There was like a lot going on, especially they did a weird thing of like pairing animation with words, and it felt just kind of busy at times.
yeah,
But
it was really too much going on for me.
yeah, and it sounds kind of weird, but it felt kind of dreamlike because he was like going in and out of daydreams and weird things, and things didn't really make sense necessarily at all points. But it was kind of just like it just seemed like this fun little jovial adventure of this kid wanting to be aspiring to be great, to do crazy things, and then kind of getting this like dose of reality, and then feeling like he's not prepared, but then being able to be reassured that he is. And then I also love that he like the scientist's whole goal was literally just to like bring plants back to a planet. It was like very straightforward, and it's like
I like that,
and I like how that relates to the forest. And it's like restoring nature is a part of that because it's every living being, breathing thing. Or yeah,
it literally was Dune. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally the plot of Dune.
I like that he said the thing from Rogue One.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I did.
Sure, yeah.
I
love
like
that
they've
part.
used that a lot lately.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's been used in quite a bit, and I like that. Just that subtle line became almost synonymous with modern Star Wars now.
Okay.
You know, it seriously, like if you watch a lot of the new stuff, that creeps in.
Okay.
So I
And I
like that quite a
love
bit.
it.
It
No,
was
that's cool. I didn't
when
know that.
and I'll just give a shout out to this because we were talking about this before the show. The new series they're doing is based off of the High Republic, So Charlie and I had reviewed the first novel in that quite
We
a
need
bit
to get
ago,
back
and
to those.
yeah, and so what I was gonna say is I just listened to the audiobook. Actually, it's really just like a radio drama that was the uh, a sequel to that one we Charlie and I reviewed, and they actually referenced a lot about Rogue One and stuff like that, and there was a lot of people saying that it was just casually getting thrown into dialogue with those characters. So, um,
Yeah, I love that. It makes it feel like it, I like it because it like puts Chirrut in this place of where he seems more of like a traditional Force believer sort of deal,
yeah, and he also
and it's
feels like
like,
a spirit
Like that's a
within
modern
the
yeah,
universe.
exactly. Like
It makes the Force again
he's
more
an
of
old soul.
a religion than just a power.
Yeah, it's not like a happenstance of, oh, you're a Skywalker, you're going to be really powerful. Let's go find the Force
Right.
sensitive babies. Which,
Yeah,
as
make
fun
story.
as those things are in Star Wars, I do really like tire of like that trope or the fact that that's even like a thing.
It's not compelling, is really what you're trying to say.
It's not.
So so what's your out of tens on this one?
I'm a solid 7. It was just good. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just enjoyable.
9.
Jake?
Rely on
9.
Toby. Yeah, dude, I loved it.
Also,
So
Toby won.
the animation,
Obi-Wan.
the animation was yes, the animation quality I think was just top notch, and I enjoy a very good fight, and I think this one was actually even better than the twins. But so I don't know, like the
Yep.
fight at least.
Not a fan.
So.
Not gonna give a number because it would be low, real low.
No, I'll give
He's
a
gonna
number.
say like
Do
a
it.
4.
Yeah, say a bad number. It's okay. We've done it.
I would say for this one, it was for these. I will say straight up, I didn't have a lot of middle ground because I either really liked stuff or I really didn't like this one.
Fair.
And I think just because there was so much going on, I would say for me, a 3. But I think if I put it on Japanese and watch the sub rather than
Mhm.
listening to an English dub, I think I'd be able to follow it a lot better. It was just
Yeah,
didn't do it for me.
that makes
But yeah,
sense.
cool. Well, let's talk about. We've got 3 more here. Let's talk about The Elder, the other one made by Trigger,
Which is
Yeah.
entirely different.
so different.
So different. Yeah.
And when they asked the guy about it at Trigger, he's like, we made this literally because we want people to know that we do things that are other than just what Twins was, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm just gonna say like this animation style was way more suited to Star Wars. I mean, the combat was clean, it was fun, it was a lot more structured as a short story. I don't know that I would necessarily ask to have more of these, but for something that was just had a very clean start and finish, it was fun. I mean, I really liked the katana blades of the former Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the dialogue was a little stilted and stuff like that, but this was just a lot more fun and easy to watch for me. It's gonna be a middle ground for me, but like I just enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So Odie, I was thinking this. I don't know if you were, but this entirely feels like High Republic. Like it's just Jedi
Yeah.
going out doing stuff. And
Yeah,
it's-
it was a lot
it-
more of Sith acolytes and meeting up and fighting with, oh, we've got 80 Padawans who are exploring the Outer Rim for the first time, and that's literally the plot of the High Republic. Is
Yeah,
they're going out in
exactly.
the Outer Rim trying
Like,
to sit up.
I was like, it's like that, and it's felt like a little bit like an interesting, like provoking, like Clone Wars sort of side plot in terms of like, I guess like just the scope of a 1 episode adventure sort of deal. Like it was just very
Absolutely.
self-contained. It was, like you said, the animation's very crisp and clean. It's very straightforward. It looks kind of akin to the art. Even the robes seem a little bit High Republic, not like the giant ceremony ones that we see, but like just in general how I at least imagine those when I read the books. Like what normal Jedi garb is like that's what they're wearing. They're like
Yeah, it felt like Star Wars. It was fun. It was self-contained. It felt like this could be a series. Like these aren't the only main characters kind of thing. Kind of we were touching out like the Clone
Yeah.
Wars, but like very episodic, very enjoyable.
yeah. I mean, the first
Yeah.
episode of Clone Wars is literally Yoda with some clones. So
Yeah.
I
that's
could see
kind of what this
being
feels like.
Almost a villain of the week type series, where they
Villain
go to
Adventure of the Week,
planets
yep.
and- Yeah.
and I just
Yeah,
enjoy
for
that.
sure.
There's
Yeah,
not a
what
whole lot to say about it. Although it was
Jake,
really
do you have
weird, he
anything to
turned
say
into
about this one?
charcoal.
Yeah,
I
he
actually
did.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I
Note
liked it because it
because
added a mystery, and I was like, oh, interesting. What can we
that was
learn?
actually something that used to be an old Sith thing, is that they would like if they lived on too long, their bodies would just crumble and flake away.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It kind of
Um,
reminded me of like what I thought of immediately was like the petrified bodies on Malachor.
Yeah.
That's like kind of where I immediately like went to in my brain.
Jake, do you have any thoughts on this one that you need to share here?
No, I think you guys kind of summed it up. I think I liked David Harbour doing his Jiraiya impersonation.
Yeah, it was definitely new for him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, cool. Out of 10s, guys, what are you feeling?
I will say an 8. It was great. It was really good. It was
feels
just
like
straight
an-
up enjoyable.
Yeah, this feels like an 8 for me as well. Maybe 7.5 or something. But
This is
don't wanna
like
be mid-
a 6, 7 for me. It's that upper mid ground. Not a bad thing, right? That's the
Yeah.
dude. They release an episode. I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
enjoy it. I'll have a good
Yeah.
time. But it's not gonna compel me emotionally. I'm just there to be like, shit.
Not
like,
yet.
do cool
We
shit.
didn't think that Yoda and those clones would, but then everything
But
changed.
but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So that was that one for me. Really easy
Yeah.
to talk about for that one. Oh gosh, this is the divisive one for a lot of people. Twitter had a real fucking storm about this one. Lop and Oko by Geno Studio. How did you guys feel about it?
I want to start off by saying that sounds like a 1990s 3D platformer.
Lop and Oko. Oh my god, I know.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Banjo Kazooie, Lop and Oko, my favorite characters.
Yeah.
It was that shitty one-off that your parents got you at Family Dollar, not Family Dollar, Family Video.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this isn't the game I ordered. They're like, it looks like the game you wanted.
It's a 3D
Yeah.
platformer with a bunny girl.
You
I
I
collect
wanted the
little
one with
eggs.
the squirrel and the swearing.
Yeah. You collect little eggs running around.
Like this was so furry shit. Ooh woo, look at me, senpai. Like I just couldn't. But holy shit, I'm just gonna say this out of the bat. Animation, gorgeous.
yeah,
Looks
man.
beautiful.
Yeah, all the backgrounds are in this are hand painted.
I just like furry stuff is really hard for me to watch. Sorry if there's any furries in chat, but it just like,
Nobody tell Fenny. I swear to God, he's gonna. No, just kidding.
just for everything, like
Tell
all the
Avery.
other characters, and then how do I want to put this? One of my thoughts was like, it felt like the whole slavery thing was just to introduce a furry. Actually, my fiance and I were talking about this. Too.
No, yeah, it did feel like
felt-
that. I was like, this was
It felt
the
weird,
opening
like,
was dead
so out of
ass, just
place.
weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It felt really forced.
Oh, it was so forced.
Yeah.
I mean, the intro was just bad to begin with
Yeah.
because the sister is just like talking so fast in this, and the voice acting was horrible for her character, old and young. I was just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is she saying? What's going on? This chick's creepy. I thought she was gonna be.
She was like
I thought this was
obsessively
gonna be
weird.
like, oh, this is about like how this girl's gonna get taken in. It felt like the start to a horror movie. I was like, what the fuck? This is creepy as shit. And then when they just woke up and like, oh hey, this place is blown up because of my dad, I was just like, this is where.
Yeah, this happened, and then
she.
she had like the scouter from freaking Dragon Ball. It was like,
Yeah, she's got Vegeta Scouter.
Yeah, she's like-
that Imperial officer who was like that little one-off villain. He literally looked like a pokey villain, just the way he's flipping his hair and standing there. Oh, come join the Empire. I'm like, this is the
I thought he
weirdest.
reminded me of the villain from your favorite episode. Actually, I was like, that guy looks similar.
It was
you
weird.
did say that.
That's all I'm saying.
You did say that.
I literally said that. I was like, is
I
that
like
the
when they
same
I like
guy?
when they blow up stuff. It made me feel like Final Fantasy VII. I was like, I love eco-terrorism.
Yes.
That's neat.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very.
That's really bad.
interesting, but
Don't
I mean,
clip that out of
dude,
context.
It was straight furry fanfic. The pendant she has in her hair has a carrot on it. There's a carrot in her hair, and she's got a little cotton
on.
tail. The writing
Yeah,
was
but-
cheeks all over the place, and the dialogue was too. But the one thing I will say, the fight scenes were very cool, very traditional. I liked the lightsaber design. The lightsaber itself was really cool. The top down scene we got of that in the box, like, and I liked they were moving the Force from just being something that's kind of like you're born with, and this idea that like okay you're passed down with a sword, and it's like the Force and Jedi could mean different things to different families and different cultures. So I just kind of like the idea that this was like passed down.
Something that stuck out to Charlie and I as well, like just a lore thing. They talk about like the one Jedi that
Yeah,
show up at
they're
their
like, this
planet.
was the Jedi, like this one person,
like
and we kind of
this one guy.
and we like the idea that there's like this Jedi that was like doing normal Jedi stuff, just going around the galaxy and helping people, but he ended up having to get into a thing and ended up saving all these people, but it, like cost him his life. But they were like, this is like the Jedi, this is the guy. So it was just like a tradition that got passed down, and we're like, we were like, what if it's like a secluded planet, and it's like this is the first time that the Empire is coming to this outer rim planet that has slavery, and it's like it's not in Hut space, but it's like still got all these issues.
Yeah, and like there's one road.
Yeah,
like legitimately, there's one road, and it leads to the Empire's like campsite.
Yeah, it was like, very reminiscent
that road. And so I just love that because it sets up this planet as being like, oh, this tiny little secluded planet, and then the Empire comes in and just like wrecks stuff up and like causes all this like division.
Yeah, I was talking about
order to chaos is what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Like because we talked about it, I was like, who built that road? And he was like, probably the Empire. I was like, you're right, because it's a lot like when like the Empire takes over Lothal, where Ezra's from in Rebels, and they just build these like stupid long highways in and out of the town.
Yeah, that are kind of purposeless.
Yeah, and only the Empire uses them.
I think in terms of world building and the animation, it was really gorgeous, but just like a lot of it really set me back, like the voice acting and just kind of tried to set up that there was this almost furry character. One of the things that was really funny to me that I just would like to point out, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Ocho, the more human quote unquote sister, when she had her face turned out to the side, her mouth was so wonky to me. It looked like it was trying to reach out and grab something. You should literally go back and watch it and watch her mouth, because it's like her mouth sticks out like 4 inches from her body, and then when she turns, it literally in the same scene, she turns and her mouth is just like flat against her face normal. I was just like, what? It was so jarring.
That's funny.
They care about infrastructure. Don't hit me with the Empire. All right. Well, out of 10 for you guys.
7.5. I thought it was good. For me, this falls between the Elder and Toby.
Jake?
8.5.
My man's loving it.
4.
I love that episode. I don't even think about the
We're gonna be a family again.
That's not what it was for me. I think the dialogue was really stilted, and it was just really hard for me to get
I like the dad.
Just watch the Japanese dub.
The dad was cool.
I was like, why is this man like a samurai? This is neat.
Yeah,
I was like, you believe?
I mean,
it's like this man looks like he belongs in a Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh, dude, he could be a Naruto character easily.
All right, let's talk about our last one. Was it Akakiri? I can't remember.
Yeah, Akakiri.
Yep, that's
this
correct.
was also by Science Saru.
All right, I have a feeling we all agree on this, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Odie, do you want to go first? Actually, Odie, you go first.
I'm scared. Okay, I'll go first. In my notes, I wrote. I won't say my rating, but I wrote my rating out of 10. The fuck was this?
We're on agreement, it seems.
It was like, okay, I'm just gonna go here because this is something Elizabeth, my fiance, today talked about. There was a lot of. It's very interesting because you have this very Japanese art style and a very Japanese infrastructure in there, but there was a lot of actually African inspiration in this.
George Takei is in it.
Yeah, there was which is cool. There was a lot of plane shots. There was a lot of the Serengeti style, the big sun rising or setting over the plains, the mountains, and stuff like that. It was very interesting that the only black character was the villain. In that, and after he goes to the dark side, they lead out with tribal drum style music. and that was the end. And just some people were very weirded out by this, but I just want to point that out before I get into like why I actually don't like this. I think the animation was strong. I mean, I liked it. It looked cool, but man, the story was all over the place for me. And the ending, I can't even get into how much I disliked that ending. It was just like suddenly I'm on the dark side because I could save her. It was like, okay, Anakin. At least Anakin had time to go through this and is like, oh, his mom died too. Now this guy's just like, I killed my almost girlfriend, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? And then he's like, bye. I'm gonna go take over the galaxy. Wasn't like I'm doing this for you. He's just like,
Yeah.
I've been manipulated.
To play devil's advocate a tiny bit, I do agree with you on this episode, but I think that there might have been like trying to hint at the fact that there was a connection between the Sith at the end and him, and then he kept having those visions. So like it was kind of like predestined that that was supposed to happen.
Not really something that happens in Star Wars that much.
Yeah, but I do believe that that's something that they were trying to hint at, and they were trying.
Oh no,
to make
absolutely.
It, like,
that was the whole plot, that it was predestined and he couldn't escape this, and that it would happen one way or another.
And I think it's because he had a tie with that character at the end. I mean, I don't know the character's name, but the Sith at the end, where they seem to have some sort of connection because the character was kind of like, oh, I know you. This is what you're gonna do. This is what, you know. So
well,
I mean,
that character, the villain, killed the former king. So like he had spent time on this planet with the woman.
Okay, yeah. But my other
she was royalty and was a hidden Sith Lord. So she had been observing him.
Gotcha,
Basically, what she was saying is that she had been observing him and was waiting for her day to manipulate him.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of what they seeded throughout this whole thing. But I'm just like, that's not a very interesting story to me. When I kind of cared about the other things and this chance for saving, and the character I latched onto and I found the most sweet ends up just dying in the end and being brought back to life.
Yeah.
I actually don't think this would have benefited from being a longer form story.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about, like, if this was an hour, it wouldn't have helped. This whole thing needed to be its own anime, and this needed to be the ending of that anime.
Yes.
So,
end of season 1.
Hold on. I'm just gonna play a meme. You guys probably won't be able to hear it, but it will be in the audio format of the show.
It was ass, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about?
I played the Joe Budden that shit was ass meme.
Joe Budden. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, this was the worst anime I've ever watched in my entire life, and it sucked. I didn't like anything about it. It was ugly. The voice acting was bad. And it had these goddamn annoying drums that drown out the fucking voice acting, which was already bad anyways. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I was so waiting for you
Charlie.
to say, stop these drums, dude.
Dude, I literally did not get what the fuck this was going for.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
very incohesive for sure.
So Sober Hippie, you had so much to look forward to. Let us know if you end up liking this one so we can.
Some people do, and I think they need to go to jail and mental wards. One, I'm not sure which.
Say that. We'll say jail because that's a little more socially acceptable.
I don't know.
So
Hey,
let's just go ahead and give our out of 10s.
Fucking -70.
1 is our lowest rating.
1. If I 0.1 maybe.
Can I say
Jake?
0.5?
No, 1.
Okay.
1 is your lowest rating.
1.
Yeah, I'm a 1 on this.
This was the worst episode.
I'm glad we at least agreed on, like, hey, this was really good and this was really bad. So at the end of the day, what we're all saying is go watch The Ninth Jedi if you're not going to watch anything else.
Yeah.
And definitely don't watch the last episode unless you're morbidly curious.
Yeah. What's really funny is we watched the first half all together, and so The Ninth Jedi was the last episode that we watched.
Yeah, because you were like, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I was like, no. I heard this is the best one.
Yeah.
It was like, we were like,
that was the best.
What?
It's
just all downhill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Toby was afterwards.
No, Toby was no. Almost everything that's in my middle is like the Elder, Lop, and Ocho, Toby. Those were all stuff we watched after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. I mean, we really gave it. We went through all of it. We really gave our opinions. We didn't really hold back. Charlie, give me your favorite episode and your least favorite episode.
Can
We're
I
gonna
just
have some repeats, but I just want you to go.
I
through.
think we all have the favorite. I feel like this is gonna be the same for all three.
My favorite's not the same.
Oh, sorry. Mostly.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Because do we want to just all go 1 through 9 real quick? I feel like that.
I mean, I think that'll take some time because I didn't order mine like that, and we have been here.
All right, fine. Ninth Jedi is my favorite. Don't fucking watch Akakiri. It's whatever you do.
Jake?
Let's see. I'm trying to decide whether or not I should be different.
No, say truly and honestly, what was your favorite and what was your least favorite?
Ironically, The Twins is my favorite episode. Unironically, Ninth Jedi is my favorite episode. And then obviously Akakuri was my least favorite.
Village Bride, by far, like I said, give me 19 seasons of anime. I will be dead before they finish it. But yeah, exactly. But Akakiri, bad.
It was
Stop the drums.
it was the worst thing.
Hashtag stop the drums. All right, cool guys. I think we really got a lot of points in there. I mean, it was really interesting to see how
I didn't realize how long this episode was.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I've been in mod chat, so I've been looking at this kind of stuff.
Sorry. It's because of me.
It is because of you.
It's all your damn fault.
Your person adds so much length to the show.
I just want to say thank you for everyone who stopped by and engaged in chat today. It made it a lot more fun to engage in all this stuff. And, even with the slip ups, because this was a very heated episode in many regards. We had a lot of strong opinions. But I think at the end of the day, we did find some stuff that we go, let's get more of this. We want season 2 of Visions. It was an enjoyable experience, even with the bad eggs. I think in some part it was kind of fun to be like, wow, this is awful.
Yeah.
Because, we don't get a lot of just hard bombs in Star Wars. And when we do, people get death threats.
And they call them prequels and sequels now.
And this was a lot more enjoyable. So, yeah. Where is our outro, Charlie? Hold on.
Oh, sorry, I just copied the thing from before.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm really happy with what they did, and we were really excited for it. And I think it paid off. I found some stuff that I was like really hopeful they continue.
I actually straight up hope they make a couple of these a series.
Yeah. Straight up.
I would actually. Even though Village Bride wasn't one of my favorites, that would be one of the ones I'm most interested for a series.
It would benefit the most from a long form series.
Yeah, and Ninth Jedi is dead made for a series. Like,
yeah, there's episode 2 is coming out next week. I swear. What were you gonna say, Jake?
I was just wondering. I was curious if you guys would be interested in a second season of Visions, and those episodes were to continue some of these stories. Or would you think that they would do new studios and like new
I think I would be more hopeful for new episodes because the stuff I saw and I really liked, I liked to the point that I want its own show. The stuff that I didn't like was so bad that I never want to see anything remotely like it again.
My hope is that they can actually continue Visions and just kind of contract new studios and make it just kind of like this cool working thing for, just short films and like low key like pilot episodes for anime for Star Wars.
Absolutely.
And if it's successful, then you're like, well, we're gonna make this the series, and then we're gonna do like a 1 hour special, so it's gonna be like the first episode plus whatever.
Yeah.
Week 1 whenever they launch a series.
Let me pop off a little bit on this one. I don't want to put this. When Disney first acquired Star Wars, they expunged one of the greatest things about it. about what Star Wars was for a long time as a community. So many people were able to write books and so many timelines and add in, and there were so many games and movies, and there was so much content out there created by different styles of producer. Like every book series I've read in Star Wars has been radically different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I think in this medium, it's not only a different medium for us, but we're going to have such a different cast of characters who are going to make Star Wars content. And it's going to bring back one of the things that was the most interesting about, yeah, we have a lot of crap here, but it's all different. It's all new. It's now interesting. So I really welcome the idea of just having Visions as its own extended style universe. But I really do think Disney needs to look in the mirror and go, wow, some of this was better than something we've put out than anything we've put out since we acquired them. And I truly believe that. I think
agree.
the Ninth Jedi was infinitely more compelling than some of the stuff they put out. I mean, The Village Bride to me was beautiful, but not for everyone. But the Ninth Jedi was it represented everything Star Wars should be. So I want more chances for people to come out here and say, look, you don't have an understanding of what you have, the beauty in that universe you have that's about hope and change and light and dark and like it's and family. Now it's Fast and Furious. So I just really hope this gives Disney some perspective about what they can do with their
IP.
universe here. Yeah.
Hard agree.
Cool.
I agree. Based. No.
Based.
Based.
Well, cool. I think that's everything.
Based,
for us,
Odie.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's everything.
Cool. Well, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you all for tuning in from all across the galaxy. If you like the episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and sharing our podcast with a friend, family member, someone who might enjoy it. If you want to interact with us more, you can always pop in to Twitch chat when we record live. You can consider interacting with us on our Discord or on Twitter using the links in our show notes. But yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Goodbye, and may the Force be with you.